In 2018, a large portion of an active United States volcano dramatically collapsed. Involving a 9,940-foot wide region, a portion of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano would eventually drop by as much as 1,640 feet or half a kilometers, forming a deep depression in its pre-existing summit caldera. This caldera collapse occurred due to withdrawal of a sizable volume of magma, approximately 800 million cubic meters, which drained 25 miles downslope near Leilani Estates across the eruption of 24 fissures. Yet, what if I were to tell you that another caldera collapse, perhaps even of a large Mauna Loa 1868 collapse volume, went completely unnoticed at a neighboring volcano, with this fact only being noticed after a review of historical records which didn't note what to us is now a highly obvious change? Well, that is exactly what is believed to have occurred at the towering Mauna Loa shield volcano in 1868, which over the course of its eruption caused what is interpreted to be a 1.62-mile wide region to collapse downwards in stages across by up to 1,640 feet. This occurred more rapidly across a period of multiple days to weeks instead of 3 months like at the Kilauea volcano in 2018. Yet, if this did occur, it presents a problem. The volume of the depression that forms in an effusive caldera collapse is roughly equivalent to the volume of magma which is removed from its underlying magma chamber. This volume was essentially a perfect match during Kilauea's 2018 eruption, but at Mauna Loa in 1868 there is a massive mismatch. For reference, during a 5-day period from April 7 through April 11 of 1868, a fissure far down on Mauna Loa southwest rift zone opened, going on to send lava flows rapidly to the coastline in only 3.5 hours. By the time this flank eruption ended, 9.5 square miles had been covered in a layer of lava. Yet, this lava flow was as a whole fairly thin, meaning that only 120 million cubic meters of lava was emplaced, or about one half of that from Mauna Loa's 2022 eruption. Such a small volume of magma should never trigger a caldera collapse, and if we take the volume change of the implied caldera collapse from an 1872 drawing, we get a figure of 1.5 billion cubic meters. Thus, one of the following things must be true. 1. There was no caldera collapse, and for some reason severe errors were made by the artist drawing the morphology of the 1872 Mauna Loa summit. 2. The artist of the 1872 Mauna Loa summit morphology made a mistake and greatly exaggerated the 1868 collapse feature compared to how large it actually was. Or 3. The artist's drawing wasn't too far off reality, and there really was a massive mismatch between the volume of the caldera subsidence and the volume of erupted lava. I am heavily leaning submarine eruption towards the third possibility, so where is our missing 1.38 billion cubic meters of molten rock? While I cannot prove this and the following suggestion is pure speculation, one possibility is that magma either erupted in some large volume submarine flank eruption which went unnoticed. Something similar has occurred at Mauna Loa before, albeit with no caldera collapse and a much smaller volume of magma in 1877. This led to a submarine volcanic eruption occurring 3,400 feet offshore as part of that year's eruption. Since large volcanic cones and young lava flows have been found in the surroundings, I suggest that a large volume flank eruption could have occurred here unknown to anyone in 1868. A second submarine intrusion possibility is that the vast majority of the magma could have been sent deep underground into the crust beneath the submarine portion of Mauna Loa's southwest rift zone. Such a scenario isn't all that unprecedented worldwide, as during the 2000 sea eruption and caldera collapse of Japan's Miyajima stratovolcano. During that sequence of events, some magma did erupt at its summit and at a singular submarine vent, but it appears that the vast majority of molten rock that triggered the caldera subsidence due to the formation of a submarine 33-kilometer or 20.5-mile long magma dike. As magma moved underneath the ocean surface and did not erupt, additional earthquakes were created, generating the abundant observed earthquakes. I suggest that something similar occurred in 1868, as this would help explain why days of near-constant rumbling were felt, although these could also simply be explained away as aftershocks of the largest earthquake to ever strike Hawaii, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake which occurred during the overall eruption. So, why don't we much evidence of this 19th century caldera today? The answer, where is the caldera today, is that the 30 distinct eruptions since then have likely completely filled in the subsided area which once existed. As a final note, I would like to thank my patron Mike Landy for upgrading their membership tier to this channel. English.